Most people aren't stuck because life isn't giving them opportunities. They're stuck because they're closing the door on every good thing that comes their way. And before you assume that I'm calling you out, I kind of am, but to be honest, I'm calling myself out even more. Hey, I'm Paul. I'm a recovering perfectionist, overthinker, and creative. And here on The Creative Alchemist, I talk about things that are just kind of living rent-free in my head. And today, I want to talk about the one major reason why you may not be getting what you want. If you're like everyone else, you probably want things like more recognition, more success, more money, more love. And what happens when those things show up in our lives? We tend to shut it down or we block it off somehow. And you may say, Paul, that's insane. Like, why would I knowingly block the things that I really want? And that's the key, the word knowingly. We don't, because a lot of times we are operating from the subconscious, which is old thoughts, old beliefs, old patterns. And so we may not know that we are blocking the very things that we think we want. And it may seem illogical, but remember that the subconscious drives about 80–90% of our actions, thoughts, and beliefs. Now, this isn't because we're broken or faulty. It's because that receiving something new requires us to be a version of ourselves that we've never seen or experienced before. And that could be scary. I'll give you an example from my own experience. You know, being on YouTube and TikTok and other social media platforms, there's a part of me that's really wanted to be in front of lots of people, to go viral and all the things like that, see the big numbers and get my message across to the masses. And what I found is, over time, I just had these little numbers. But I recall any time that I would go viral, like for me, on TikTok, for example, I would panic. You'd think I'd be celebrating, but I would panic inside. And at the time, I didn't realize what's wrong with me. Like, I should be excited, but there was a part of me that just felt dread. Because as great as it was to see all those numbers, there was a part of me that felt uneasy. Like I was bracing myself for the trolls, for the criticism, to be misunderstood. And yeah, I did get goofy comments. And the problem is that logically, I understood that, hey, with exposure comes just, you're going to get lots of people coming in, which is exactly what I wanted. But I felt uneasy. I felt vulnerable. I felt exposed and rejected and hurt. And I just wasn't ready for that. And it showed me something that I didn't really want to admit at the time. And that was, as much as I said I wanted growth and to be in front of big audiences, there was a part of me that couldn't receive it. Like I was incapable of receiving it. And so there was that big part of me that felt that, being open and exposed was dangerous. And so that shut me down. And anytime I would get big numbers on a video, I would run and hide it, stop making videos for a while. Another example is friendships. And, I've shared many times how in the past, in grade school and high school, I was bullied. And so I was already introverted and shy and, reserved. So for sure, I didn't want to open myself up to anyone. And as I got older, I did want friends. I really did want to have friendships. And so whenever someone would, show up and want friendship, immediately I was like, no, because my defenses went up. And I was afraid that, what do they want? What do they want? What angle are they trying to get on me? And so I pushed everyone away while consciously I'm saying, no, but I want friends. My unconscious programming and the old stories and the old beliefs that I'm going to get hurt, they just kicked in hard. So I say this so that we can understand that wanting something and being able to hold it or receive it are two very different things, are very different frequencies or energies. And we all struggle with that. So I want to share with you 5 common things that we want or ask for or try to manifest, and the reasons why we end up actually pushing them away. The first is visibility. Being seen sounds great until you're seen. Being visible doesn't only attract possible opportunities for collaborations or whatever it is, business, but it also attracts opinions. It attracts people who aren't your people. It attracts people projecting their own shit onto you. It may have your name all over it, but has nothing to do with you. And if you're like me, who grew up maybe feeling small or trying to be protective in our own little bubbles or trying to keep the peace, being open and vulnerable can feel like poking your head out of a foxhole and, watching and hearing all the bombs screeching down overhead. Second thing is money. Of course, most people swear that they could do with more money, right? Like more income, more opportunities, more clients. But the problem with more money coming into our lives is having more responsibilities. What I mean by that is when more money comes in, suddenly we're more responsible for making better decisions or holding better boundaries or being able to sustain whatever revenue that we might be getting. And it's not that we're afraid of being broke. It's like there's almost like a fear of being the person who can handle that responsibility of the money. And if you don't believe me, look at all those people that have won the lottery, like gazillion billion dollars, and they blow it and they end up working back at their job, working paycheck to paycheck. It's not that they mismanage the money necessarily. Yes, there might be some, scams or whatever, but what happens is that we all have a set point. And when we can't adjust our self-image and move that set point, we are just going to naturally return to what we know. And so for some people, it's scrambling, it's making minimum wage. And so they can't handle the responsibility of the money because it doesn't match their self-image. 3, praise. Think about compliments. Like when someone compliments you, because this is a huge one for a lot of us. Someone says something really nice to you. So what do? Oh, this whole thing, it's just, anyone can look good. Or, I bet you say that to everyone. Or, you're crazy. No, what's wrong with you to think that about me? We've all done it. Admit it, you've done it. And we do that thinking that we're being humble or modest. But what we're actually doing is avoiding intimacy. We're rejecting someone's gift of being seen. You see, when someone compliments us, it's because they've seen something about us that maybe we don't see about ourselves or we don't like to talk about. And so for us to be seen means for us to be vulnerable. And so a lot of us don't like that. So we shut down the compliment, hoping to shut down the intimacy and that connection. 4th, love. Many people say they want great relationships, and this can be a dicey one too, because there's a lot of things at play. But let's say, like with me, with friendships, what you may find is that when someone shows interest in you and starts treating you well, immediately there's this like suspicion. Like, what do they want? They only want one thing. They're going to dump me. This is too good to be true. And so all the old stories and programming and patterns kick in. And what happens is we end up treating that person poorly because we're expecting to get hurt. So we hurt them first. Or we may play victim, like, I'm not worthy of love. And there must be an ulterior motive because we don't see ourselves maybe the way that they see us. And we say and do these things not because we don't want love, we do, but we may not be prepared to be emotionally available for it, not being able to receive it. Being open, like that intimacy requires us to allow people to get close enough that they may disappoint us. And if you're the type of person that wants to avoid any possibility of disappointment, then you're shutting yourself off from love. You're unwilling and unable to receive it because it's going to hurt. Receiving loves means letting go of the version of yourself who needed to do things alone. And 5th, growth. This is the big one because it covers everything. And what most people don't realize is that receiving abundance isn't about getting more, it's about becoming more and setting the table so that abundance can sit beside you. It's inviting. You see, the key in receiving is shifting your self-image, being that person who is able to receive and is able to want to receive and feel good about receiving. Because a lot of the times, our self-image is based on who we used to be, as opposed to creating a self-image and embodying a self-image right now of who you want to be and that person who can and does receive whatever it is that you want. So the problem is not that you don't want more, right? We all want more, all the good stuff, right, that life can offer. But being able to receive forces us to shift our self-image. And the problem is that our nervous system and the old programming in our head is there to protect the old us, the one that maybe struggles to receive more, the way things used to be. But we don't want the way things used to be. We want the other stuff, the good stuff that's ahead of us, that's present. Now, of course, it's easy to blame the externals, right? Like, oh, I don't have the time. Oh, yeah, but what about the algorithm? Oh, but my family. Oh, but this and that. And by doing so, we give our power away to the external. Now, of course, there are some things that we do have to manage. Like if you're working 2 jobs and you're doing this, or you're, whatever it is, it may have a chronic illness, there's going to be some restrictions, of course. But that doesn't take away, let's say, from the fact that when you did get a compliment, or an opportunity did come your way, or some maybe extra money did come your way, or whatever it was, that we still minimized it, or we still blocked it. It had nothing to do with the algorithm, or our family, or our financial situation, or whatever. It's just the old programming. It's the old way that we have just existed and survived in this world. And so it's important to look just at ourselves. You know, what is it that we internally, mentally, emotionally are creating and recreating to block the things we'd really love? It comes down to your capacity to receive. It's your nervous system and your mental, subconscious programming that's rejecting anything that isn't comfortable and known, even though expansion and growth is what you want and need. Now, the good news, I've got to give you some good news here, is that it's so doable and possible to change how you receive, your capacity to receive. And I'm going to share a few ways you can do that. First, start with just accepting compliments. That's probably the easiest one to start with. When someone gives you a compliment, I'm going to give you advice someone gave me when I was in college. She said something nice to me. I started deflecting. It was like Wonder Woman with those bands, pew, pew, with the bullet. She said, Paul, just shut up and say thank you. That's my word of advice to you. Shut up and say thank you and see how that feels. The other thing is, and this is something I am still working on, and that is counting the wins even when they're small. Allow those wins to count instead of brushing past them like, oh, I should have done this anyway. Like, receive the wins, receive the small victories. Doesn't matter how tiny they may feel, receive them. Allow them to be absorbed. Third, let people help you. Let them help you. Like, let people assist you or aid you in any way without you having to stir the pot of guilt and shame and, oh, I'm so weak, I'm so useless. Cut that bullshit out. Allow people to help. You know how good it feels when you help someone, right? Let other people do the same, right? I think of when it comes to compliments or help like this, it's like if someone gave you a physical gift, like a box, and you go, what's this bullshit? You wouldn't do that. You would never do that. That'd be so rude. But that's what we do in a way when we deflect or decline or dismiss someone's compliment or someone's help. So let them help you. We're all here to help one another. So receive it. Allow yourself to receive it with grace and dignity, and so that they can be of help to you. So just see how that feels. It may feel like an itchy sweater, but keep practicing. Fourth, practice visibility. This may be more for people who maybe content creators or creators, but regardless, it could be something at work. It could be something, that you're a hobby of yours or whatever it is. Just put something out there. Put a little portion of yourself out there and just leave it and just see what happens. To me, I have to do this a lot. I'm still doing a lot of this. When I have, like lately I had some TikToks go big, I've had to sit with it and be okay that people are saying certain things, and I'm open and I'm vulnerable. And, I haven't died yet. And so I'm practicing this. So put something out, something imperfect. Write something that's not, it doesn't have to be the great novel. Put something out there. It doesn't have to be a cinematic masterpiece. Put something out there so you can practice being vulnerable and just feel how that is to get some of that energy back. And fifth and last, stop assuming growth means that you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. What I mean by that is a lot of times we step into this space of receiving, of trying to grow and manifest and all this, but it's like we put a condition on it. Like, yeah, I'm going to get this, but, something's going to happen. Like, I have to pay for this somehow. When true receivership comes without condition, it's just the energy of receiving. if that makes sense. So step into it without thinking that you have to pay the piper somehow. Because when you can do that, it's freeing. You don't feel like it comes with a price, because if it comes with a price, then of course you're going to hold back and not do it, right? You know what I'm saying? Receiving is a skill. And just like any other skill, it requires practice. And for something like receiving, you know, you hear people talk about manifesting and you can manifest like a mofo, and you can bring stuff your way, but if you're rejecting it, unintentionally blocking it, or unconsciously squashing it, there's going to be a point where, like, you know, the universe is getting a message that it's getting like a double binding message. You're like, I want this, and the action is no, no, no. So it's gonna be like, yo, dude, what do you want? Like, what is it? And so it's probably gonna stop sending you the very things that you're asking for, trying to manifest. Because for every action, you're giving a response, and it's not the type of response that's gonna help you grow or expand or bring in abundance and wealth. So it comes down to practice, practice, practice. If this resonates and you yourself are looking to expand your capacity, whether it's for visibility, for abundance, for creativity, for expression, whatever it is, I want to share, I'm building an online space just for that. It's called the Firelight Circle, and it's going to be free. It's going to be grounded. It's going to be a really cool little community where we can show up as ourselves, you know, share our truths, share our victories, share whatever challenges we have in terms of growing our inner capacity so we can expand our outer world. There'll be lives, there'll be conversations going on, there'll be, you know, prompts, all that kind of stuff. So I'm building it out right now. And if you want to be a part of it, I'd love for you to join the waitlist. The link is in the description. That's going to be happening before the end of this year. And I think it's going to be wonderful. It is going to be wonderful because you'll be a part of it. And while you're clicking around and checking things out, please subscribe, share, like, comment. It would be a wonderful thing to have this message transmitted more and more. You know, what's funny is while I was recording this, I just realized one of my lights went out. Why didn't you tell me? I receive that I'm okay, that the light went out for a while. I don't know how long. I'm okay with that. I receive that imperfection. So there you go. Anyway, this has been The Creative Alchemist. Create often, create well. See you later.